Okay, in this quick video, I'm going to briefly go over how to make a mood board in Photoshop. So first I'm going to click New File, and I'd like my width to be 11 and my height to be 17 inches. So this is going to be a tabloid dimension poster. The resolution can be 150. I'm doing this in Photoshop because I don't care if it's very high resolution, because it's just for ideation and sketching. So I'm going to title this mood board, and I'll go with RGB color, background color, white, your preference, but that's what my default, that's what I go to. And I'll go to create. So I'll have my background here, and I actually want to drag in all of my inspiration at once. And I'll go to my desktop folder. All of this inspiration I've collected either from Pinterest or photos I take at museums or book fairs. And so you keep that kind of inspiration on a desktop folder or in your Pinterest. Go through it and find things that you're interested in that kind of have a similar vibe, but don't worry about getting it all cohesive just yet, because this is the process that you'll do when you bring them all together. So bring in kind of maybe more than you'll think you'll need. And I'm going to hit return with each layer that it pulls in. So it'll pull in an image, and it's going to create a new layer for that image, but you have to press enter or return for each one and embed it into your document. Now these are coming in as smart objects. I can tell that they're smart objects because there's this little icon on each layer. I want to be able to edit these, so a smart object will stay the same resolution, whether you size it up or size it down, because as I mentioned that we don't need to worry about resolution quite in this exercise. I'm going to go ahead and rasterize all of these. So I'm going to click on the first layer and then scroll down all the way to the bottom, hit Shift on my Mac and click, and that's going to select all of these layers. I'll hit Control and I'll go down to rasterize layers. It's going to allow me to edit them. And I'll click out to deselect those layers. I actually do want to transform and size some of these down. And I want to splay them out so that I can see them all together as a group. So I have not chosen images that are all just graphic design or from all one field. I've chosen images from book design, graphic design, art, photography. The more variation you have in your inspiration, I think the stronger your concept ends up being. So I'm clicking on each layer, each image, and it's actually going to select and provide my transform little squares here. So I'm clicking on the corner of each and sizing it up or sizing it down. I'm sizing down so that I can place these and just kind of see what I'm working with here. Enter. I might need to make these smaller. So some font ideas, some just kind of color and vibe images like these chairs. I brought in a lot. I'm going to have to size these way down. Okay, I'm almost there. I just want to have everyone in its own place. It's okay if some of them overlap. It really depends on the aesthetic that you're looking for in your mood board. I like to sort of go by the grid layout style, but you can have some overlapping. Okay, I'm going to take out this. So overall, I think my mood is beachy, maybe sort of like Mediterranean. I've referenced this photographer, oh no, Luigi Ghiri from Italy from the 60s. Maybe a little tennis, which is not typically my style, but I found myself drawn to maybe one or two of these images, and then started to pull things that were in a similar color scheme and sort of design aesthetic. So it's like pretty clean and minimalist. And okay, so I've got all of these and I want to start deciding what to keep, what to get rid of. And I also want to develop a color palette from these images. I'm actually going to take this part out because it's not really going with my theme. So I'm clicking the marquee tool and clicking and dragging and selecting, and it's on that layer, and delete that. Okay, just with clicking delete. Oops, I deleted that by accident. Command Z, bring that back. I think I want to keep actually all of these, except this one. It's just a little bit different now that I'm seeing these all together. This one has a little bit more of like a digital reference. It has this bitmap kind of design, and I'm going to take that one out. I'm just going to delete. And so now something is emerging. I've got two different blues, three different blues, kind of, maybe four with this teal. And I might want to kind of consolidate those into a blue. So I'm going to show you how to make a color scheme, color palette for your idea. Now this typically would take a lot longer. I might be saving as and developing different mood boards until I kind of get something I'm happy with. Playing around a lot more, iterating. These are my font inspirations. Bring that up, bring that up, bring that down. So just a lot of clicking and dragging and arranging. I can also Command T, transform this, and Control click and rotate this clockwise. That actually fits a little bit better. I can transform this and stretch it out because it doesn't really matter what dimensions that is. For me, I'm more drawn to these sort of concentric lines. Now you'll also have Photoshop tutorials to teach you the basics of what I'm doing here, where I'm clicking and transforming and dragging and resizing, and the basics of what's going on here with these layers. Switch this out. I'm actually going to take this out just for the sake of it fitting right now. And just like I did with that other font layer, I can use my marquee tool and kind of just cut that out. So it kind of appears that this layer is going over it. Okay, so now I want to develop my color scheme and I'll put in a title. I'll click T for type or go to my type tool here. And I've already pulled a couple fonts and downloaded some that I liked from the internet. I liked this Wawa. I just took a screenshot of that font. And then for my sub font, just kind of a basic sans serif font. This will be my subtitle. And I can try it in all caps too, kind of like that. Selecting and resizing that text. Now text is a lot better in Illustrator because it's working with vectors, but again, we're not worried about the resolution right now. So for my font color, I can select the color and use my eyedropper to kind of pull from any of these colors that I have on my board already. I can move this over. And it's going to change. I kind of want that blue, that cobalt, to be the hero blue of my color palette. Oops. So I'm going to OK and escape. And this for now will be my title. And in here, I'm going to make my color palette. So I'll go over here to my marquee tool, and you can choose your marquee, your rectangle, or your elliptical marquee. I'm going to go for some little circles. I'm going to zoom in. I'm just actually zooming in with my fingers here. Clicking and dragging. And I will create a layer. One new layer here, this little icon. And I'm going to hit my I for eyedropper, or go over to the toolbar and get your eyedropper. And I know I want this blue in my color palette, so I'm going to select that blue, go up to Edit, Foreground Color, and Fill. I'll hit Command Deselect so I can go on to another. I'll hit M for my marquee tool, go to my elliptical again, you'll see it's going to tell me when I get to the same size as the previous one. Go on a new layer and choose another color. This kind of red, orange, I'm really drawn to. I have to zoom all the way in to get more of that orangey color actually. Edit and fill. Now if you're not, I would continue doing my color palette, and if you're not happy with the color of an image but you like what the image looks like, you can click on that layer and go up to Image, Adjust, Hue and Saturation, and you can play around. So those are the very, very basics of creating a mood board on Photoshop. And good luck, and I will be around for any questions during office hours or email or separate one-on-one meetings. Thanks.